on what went down?
I'm happy fans are back in the building. I miss that interaction. I need that interaction. We as players need that interaction. I don't feel like it was warranted to be kicked out. There was a back and forth between two grown men, and then when someone else jumped into it and said their piece, and it kind of got blown out of proportion.
Stephen A., do you think the fans should have been ejected from the arena?
Based on what we saw on video and what LeBron James said, no, I don't believe that. I think that in this day and age, particularly with what the world is going through, and specifically here in America in the sports world, to see fans heckling players and stuff like that is actually welcomed, to be honest with you. Now, there are limits. Russell Westbrook and various others can speak to that, because some things that are said are completely and utterly uncalled for. In my years of covering the NBA, I've seen many occasions where fans definitely cross the line with some of their language and some of the things that they said. But other times when they're heckling you and bothering you, I don't think that it warrants ejection. I think going over to them and telling them to watch their language is about as far as it needs to go, because in most instances they know how to heckle you while minding their manners in terms of their language. And I think that they're definitely capable. I'll give you a personal experience, Max and Molly. I was at the Rams Kansas City games. Remember that Monday night game years ago when Kansas City lost to LA 54-51, that epic Monday night football game? Well, I'm in the suite for ESPN LA radio, and fans were screaming at me and stuff like that. And one of the guys was getting out of control and he was heckling me. The security went over to remove him. And I told security, no, leave him alone. It's okay. And I looked at the guy and I just said, just watch your language. Just watch your language and you good. And he actually thanked me for it. He still heckled me, but he heckled me in PC fashion, not rated R. And as a result, we all ended up having fun. I was messing with them. They were messing with me. And it's all in fun. And I think that's the kind of thing that LeBron is alluding to when he talks about how the fans shouldn't have been ejected. She seemed a bit acerbic when she jumped into the fray, whoever that person was, with the gentleman LeBron was arguing with. But I appreciate what LeBron is saying. You kind of missed that, and you want to see that because the fans are an integral part of what makes the game special. And watching these games without them in attendance, even though I really appreciate the players playing and playing with the fervor that they're playing with, I really do miss the fans there. So I appreciate where LeBron came from on this, and I agree with his assessment.
Yeah, first let me say, LeBron can get down in the mud and wrestle and come out clean. Like, the way he handled this was just right. First of all, his tweet, courtside Karen was mad, all caps, is hilarious. And even the fact that he said she shouldn't have been ejected, he likes the interaction, the fact that he's going back and forth with them, it's all good. And she should not have been ejected, based on what I understand, except I have to say this. When you talk loud and a lot, that's how you spread COVID, right? Like, that's what you like, because it's really expectorant. It's the particles coming out of your mouth. I know it sounds disgusting or funny or whatever, but that's what the mask really does. The mask is not there to protect you. Your mask is there to protect me. My mask is there to protect you. And it looks like we're in the home stretch of this thing. The vaccine is coming out, but it's going to take some time. You don't want the thing to mutate. There's still high mortality or like people dying because there aren't enough hospital beds, stuff like that. So we still need to be careful. And if the mask is off her face and she's yelling, I don't know, Stephen A., if she was warned to put her mask back on and she didn't. But if she's yelling with her mask down, then I could see that being the basis of her removal. That has not been reported, that they told her, hey, put your mask back on, and they didn't. But that's one way I could see, okay, I get it. She's got to go. Otherwise, it doesn't seem like just even cursing back and forth. It's not like there's a way that you can use language that you can't repeat, for example, on ESPN airwaves, that is still not over the line in terms of kind of common trash talking. And it seems like that was the case here. So unless it was a mask issue, I don't think, based on what I know, she should have been removed.
All right. Courtside Karen, I'm dead. That was absolutely hilarious. Max, we'll leave it there. When we come back here on First Take, guys, George Kittle's going to join us. He knows what it's like to face the Chiefs in a Super Bowl.
First, basketball-wise, I want to ask you about that group, the kind of new group you and the rest of the bench guys with THT and Caruso. It was an 8-0 run in the fourth quarter to start against Boston. Tonight it was 11-0, 16-0 if you include the third. What's going on with that unit, and why were you guys having success?
We just play extremely hard. We cover for one another, and we run. Myself, THT, Caruso, Kuz, and Trez. We got a lot of energy, a lot of speed, and we just play a lot of ourselves basketball. That's our whole team, but that group in particular.
And so you've got the Built by Black History shirt on. Obviously, Black History Month. You're there in Atlanta. I just wondered, LeBron, could you summarize this whole year, going back to George Floyd, the tragedy, everything that you went through, and now this Black History Month, what it means for you and just kind of for everybody?
To keep it all real with you, Mike, Black History Month is every month. They just happen to give us the shortest month of the year, but Black History Month is all 12 months for me. We celebrate Black excellence every single day of the year, 365 days, and go around my household and around the people I'm around. So, I love the fact that we get to celebrate it for a full month, and people, that may not know about it, kind of come together and things. But at the end of the day, I celebrate Black excellence every single day. And Black History Month, I would say, is Black History Day. 365 days of the year, 66 on the leap year. So that's just how we rock around here. And but it's cool to get it started now, and we'll just keep it going throughout the rest of the year and January of 22.
Are you feeling any more recognition of everything you just talked about this year?
I don't live my life trying to gain recognition for anything. You do what's right, you call out what's wrong, and you go from there.
LeBron, I wanted to get your take or your comment or your perspective on the interaction that occurred with the courtside fans who were kicked out, and do you feel like that interaction exposed any sort of loophole in the COVID protocol if fans can take off their masks to yell at a player?
No, at the end of the day, I'm happy fans are back in the building. I miss that interaction. I need that interaction. We as players need that interaction. I don't feel like there was warranted to be kicked out. There was a back and forth between two grown men, and which we said our piece. He said his piece. I said my piece, and then someone else jumped into it and said their piece. But I didn't think they were, should have been kicked out. But they might have had a couple of drinks maybe, and they could have probably kept it going, and the game wouldn't have been about the game no more. So I think the referees did what they had to do. And it's fine. I don't think, taking down the mask or whatever the case may be at that point in time, would have harmed anybody but the people that was right next to her. I wasn't close enough to her. I don't think any of my teammates was close enough to them. Maybe a couple of refs, maybe. So I hope they're okay. But safety first.
Dan?
LeBron.
And you look like you're about to ask me. You like you're ready to fire off.
Well, it strikes me. It's as somebody you've said all year, like I want fans. I want to see fans. Does that get you more excited that when you see some people who are, like you said, a little willing to kind of toe into those waters, whether it was in Cleveland or here, just seeing those spaces that close to you?
Well, my guy tonight, I don't want to say he went overboard, but he went a little bit out of bounds, too close to comfort for me. And I said my piece, and we could have moved on. But I think it was so close to the officials. I think the official heard it as well, what he had said. And it kind of got blown out of proportion. It's just like sometimes on the floor when two guys get into a scuffle, or get into a little like jostling, and the refs come and try to break it up really fast, and it looks like it's bigger than what it really is. That's what it pretty much was tonight. But the difference, we're on the court and we're not having any alcoholic beverages. So they might have had some alcoholic beverages on the side, so that it made them feel a little tougher than what they really are, I would say.
But to be clear, you were happy. You were happy that this happened, though, right? Like you enjoyed this.
Who, me?
Yes.
I love our fans. Laker Nation and everybody else that's against Laker Nation. It just feels better. Fans in the stands it's just better. It's better for everybody. especially on the last game of a 14-day road trip.
Kyle? Hey, LeBron, I'm gonna have to have an alcoholic beverage after this.
Me too. You ain't the only one.
But to ask a basketball question here, you guys, the last 2 games have had come down pretty close. You guys make these defensive plays. How much pride do you take in sort of reinforcing that the defensive identity you guys had last year in these close situations?
I take all the pride. Listen, man, I take as much pride on the defensive end than I do on the offensive end. Things that you cannot control on the offensive end if you shoot the ball well. You know, sometimes the ball don't go in for you. You have your mechanics perfect. You swing ball. You know, you're being unselfish, and sometimes the ball just don't go in for you. But the one thing you can't control is how you defend. You don't have to worry about the ball going in when you're defending. You have to stop the ball from going in. So being able to get your hand on passes, deflections, things of that nature. You know, tonight, a big play, me just being able to get my hand on Capella on that slip to the rim and us being able to get out in transition. You know, Dennis and AC hustling back and being able to get that steal too on Trey late in the game, and then us, you know, sealing it with free throws. So, you know, I take that responsibility. You know, AD takes it, me being able to work out commands and things of that nature. When we defend, we're just that much better, you know, and we want to be the best defensive team in the league, and we hold that with the utmost responsibility.
We've got time for one more, Bill.
Hey, LeBron. Before the game, Frank said it's been kind of a blend of diligence and luck that has kept you guys from having any games postponed. I mean, obviously, a lot of teams around the league have had multiple games postponed. I'm curious, is there any, in a macro sense for the season and what you guys are trying to accomplish this season, what do you see as any advantage in just getting your games played on schedule?
Well, yeah, I want to say, you know, first of all, you know, we've been trying to be extremely responsible. The whole Lakers organization. You know, we haven't had anyone that had to miss days or whatever the case may be since we started. You know, we're doing our testing. Guys are staying, you know, for the majority, staying in their rooms and staying, you know, social distancing and things of that nature. We're just trying to do everything that the protocol is telling us we can or cannot do. You know, and just trying to follow that to a T. There's some things you can't control. You know, we don't know if this virus is airborne or if it's passed through, you know, person to person. So. What we can't control is just, you know, just trying to stay responsible, you know, do the things that we can do and things of that nature. And then and it's allowed us to be full, you know, for our games, you know, like I said, and go out there. And because of, you know, the strict protocols and stuff, you don't really have much time to practice, especially on the road. A lot of gyms aren't open. A lot of arenas are not open unless it's a game. You can't really prepare things on the floor, so you got to do it in film sessions and things of that nature. So to have our full group, like I said before, we've, you know, use a lot of our games as extensive practices to continue to work our habits, continue to work our strategic plan on how we can get better and better as the months go on. So, you know, through luck, yes, but also through being responsible as well has allowed us to be whole pretty much throughout the season. So